I'm Clay, and this is Talk About Scary. As you can see, I am not alone. I'm joined by Ashley.
I'm back.
It's been a while, but we really wanted to have her on one more time before we canceled these shenanigans. And I wanted Adam to be in it, but he's just always busy working. He's not cool like us.
I never see him anymore.
Although, to be fair, I just got done working, and I feel really disheveled. I referee youth basketball, and I'm sweaty.
You're out of breath.
So, just go ahead and smell the pits. But anyway, we're just going to talk about, well, we do have a topic that we're going to dive into, but before we do that, I just want to ask her some questions, and you're going to give me some answers.
Okay, let's do it.
You've been on several episodes of this show, as you were just before we started recording reminded.
Yes, that's what I'm learning. That I've been on several.
She thought she was on one about the Titan Submersible. So let's start with that episode. When we recorded that, we were trying to hit a hot topic. It was like when we recorded it, we didn't even know if they were alive, dead, if it was real. We knew nothing. It was just theories and speculation.
I remember having a lot of thoughts about it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what those thoughts were.
Well, you were like into
it. Like I researched it for days. I watched videos. I was very into it.
I got texts from you.
Yeah. And I think that I just thought we had a conversation about it.
No, we had a full-blown conversation. Adam was in that episode. We talked about what we think happened. And
what did I think happened?
You know, I should have listened before we hit record. But I think you thought that
it's just seemed
they would have like froze to death or ran out of oxygen. Because the big thing was they thought they only had like 96 hours of oxygen. And we were like, well, how could they know that? Did they test MERT? And just all these things were kind of like, how do you know this? Is what they were telling the public.
I don't know. I think, they would have ran out of oxygen. But I felt, didn't I think something like weird? Like I'm like,
probably, you usually do.
Set up or they're not really.
Well, if I remember right, initially when we recorded the past episode, there was not like video or picture of them getting in.
Well, and then that one video was released where it was just like, and they're like, that's it exploding.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, it is. And I'm like, is it?
That was like 2 or 3 days after, wasn't it? And they were like, we've heard noises.
Yeah. And it's like.
Well, that is what ended up happening. So we just wanted to like kind of finish up that tall tale and talk about how they did implode. And there was like, I saw some, I almost said really cool. I guess it is cool, but it is kind of sad that that's what happened to them. But just like some reenactments.
Like diagram stuff.
Yeah. And how like fast it happened and you're basically
I think they were
nothing.
Dead before that. I really do think they were dead before that.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if like anxiety got to them. I mean, it's pitch black. They've got no power. It's freezing. Their toilet was probably full. Remember, they had like a curtain.
Did they have like a sandwich?
That they could bring a sandwich.
Okay.
And no shoes or something.
Yeah.
But they had a curtain, and the curtain is where the window was, and the window was like this big.
Yeah.
And that was also where you pooped.
Panic attacks and poop would have
good old pee-pee
me out right then and there.
But yeah, if you wanted to say anything about that, if you don't,
no,
they are dead. You know,
it's kind of like Tiger King. When Tiger King came out, like everyone was so into it. Like I remember being so invested in this.
I feel like you're the type of person that gets invested in
very much
odd things.
I know that's like all I do or think about for that time frame.
Yeah. Like a lot of the world was invested in this story, but you were like
I was, and I wanted everyone to be invested, and very few were as invested as me.
I remember you. I think I heard about it from you, and I was just like, "What is this Titan Submersible? Like, what are you talking about?"
I think, if I'm recalling, I was on maternity leave and didn't have a lot to do.
Nah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all adding up. But yeah, you were also on some other episodes. I think the very first episode we had you on was when we talked about the Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Mm-hmm. That was in season 1.
Wow.
That was like 5 years ago. How does that make you feel? You can't even remember.
It makes me feel like I've never heard
Dementia
those words
is setting in.
Waverly Hills sounds like a Disney show.
That's Waverly Place. And they are wizards, Harry.
Remind me. Sanatorium is
It's like I can't remember if it's in Pennsylvania or Massachusetts or something, but it's like an old insane asylum.
Okay.
And it's like, it almost looks like a UV shape. Like there's like 3 portions of the building.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just like run down.
Like it's abandoned
It's been abandoned for years. I think it shut down in like the 60s or 70s.
Okay, and they're saying it's haunted?
Yeah, like a ton of specials have been made, like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. They've all visited and done specials. And there's a lot of crazy videos on YouTube of people seeing like shadow people like coming around the corner.
I totally believe in that.
That might be the place too with Timmy. I might be wrong. Our fans are like, wow, Clay, you don't even know your own show. That is correct. Do you know how many episodes I've recorded?
Yeah.
A lot.
I've been on 5 on camera.
Do you know how many episodes we've recorded that haven't even been released? At least half a dozen. Adam and I did a lot of things that we were like, yeah, no one can see this. So when you're seeing it, we believe in it. But yeah, no, Timmy, he's like a child ghost, and people will take like bouncy balls, like big, like dodgeball type, like soccer balls. And you can like put it in a room and the ball will like start moving.
And there was a little boy that was spotted with a leather ball. And that's pretty scary, I guess, because I don't like little dead kids. They scare me.
Or leather balls?
Yeah. A leather ball. That's what it said.
I think his name was Timmy.
Timmy.
He had a name.
Timmy.
Timmy.
So, I'm pretty sure this place has been covered on quite a few shows. And I just scrolled to the bottom where they're citing their sources on this website.
Oh, he scrolled places.
And, yeah, you know, Google.
Yahoo.
That's what I do. You know. But yeah, I've seen some shows that have covered this. And when Ashley said Timmy, I've actually seen a show, and I can't tell you which one. I'm looking that it was on Ghost Adventures, Most Haunted.
Those aren't great shows.
No, they're not. Definitely stay here and don't go look at the better version. Worse version. But anyway, one of the shows that I've seen, they actually did a demonstration where they left a ball out and supposedly I don't know if it's just only on the 3rd floor for him as well as the girl, but I guess if you leave a ball out, he might come play with it. And on the show was pretty cool. I'm gonna probably leave this episode and just go watch it real quick. You guys can keep talking.
Oh, absolutely. I'll have to check it out after this.
But the point is, I've actually seen video evidence of a paranormal crew that actually investigated this. So it's a pretty big deal if it's on all these paranormal shows.
Well, I have too, Clay.
Big deal.
That's what I was going to mention, but you've taken my light from me, my thunder. You've taken my thunder from me once again.
There was also like a nurse or something. It was just a place where they mistreated the patients.
Yeah. And,
shoot, I wish I could remember. Check out that episode. I'll post something in the...
I'm going to go back and watch it. That sounds
description. But yeah, that was the first time we had you on the show. And then I believe the next episode was The Bell Witch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember? We actually recorded that in my old office downstairs, and we like huddled next to my computer. I
don't think I've ever been allowed to sit next to you before. I've always been in a different...
That one wasn't... those 2 episodes that I'm talking about were just podcast. Oh. So we like huddled around the microphone, and I remember Bella was like in the corner, and that was like a train wreck of an episode, if I recall.
Because Adam started talking about whale souls?
No, that was... See, that's... when was that? She's clearly been on more episodes than I recall. But no, the Bell Witch was like somewhat the premise for like the Blair Witch.
Okay.
It was like a family and...
I just feel like the whale people are more of the donators in the world. They're really concerned about the whales.
They are like endangered, some of them and stuff. And Chihuahuas, they're like not
Everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere, man.
Fair enough.
So I was gonna lead in to, I had my dog growl at that moment. I cued her in because she's our fourth special guest because her name is Bella, and I wanted to link that to the Bell Witch Cave. Bella, you get it?
Yeah, we get it. It's
Did
just
you
not
just
really
think
good
of
joke.
that?
I just thought of that. So the Bell Witch is a cave, kind of like a farm stand, located in Tennessee, and it was originally owned by John Bell. And in the late summer of 1817, something happened to him and his family that would change their lives forever.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dum
dun.
dum dum. What happened?
Something
The-
horrendous.
Strange animals. They began seeing strange animals, and they heard knocking and choking noises.
Probably like that. And like the animals,
Nice.
they might have been like, I don't know, though. We don't know because we're
Well,
not there. It
Did
was
you
in
just do that
1817.
voice?
Well, what animals
Why-
are strange?
Why am
on
I
a
not
farm?
there with you guys right now? Why am I sitting in my
And I think she ended up becoming the Bell Witch. It was the Bell family. That's why it's called the Bell Witch. So
Okay.
you can look up the Bell family if you're intrigued by this failing attempt to remember a past episode. But I know you were in a couple others. The most recent one was Elisa Liza Lamb.
Elisa Liza Lamb.
I don't think we ever established how you
I
pronounce
think
her
I say
name.
Eliza, but maybe it's Elisa.
Maybe it's Eliza.
I want to be right. Like, I want to say it right, but I don't.
So do you have memories
Yes.
of recording
Yeah,
that?
I do.
I want to say we actually released that episode quite a while after we shot it. I don't know if you remember that. We shot
Yeah,
it,
Yeah.
and then we like hung
do
on
remember
to some episodes because we were trying to figure out, we want to do some changes and stuff like that. So I think we released it, and when we shot it, you had like just gotten married. But when we released it, you had been married for like a year.
Yeah, I remember that because I said my husband was super hot in that one, and I went home and told him, and then it like never came out.
And he's like, "You didn't say that,
Yeah.
did you?"
I was like, no.
He's like, "You liar, you liar."
No, I do totally remember that one. I cannot remember.
Remember,
You remember?
remember, Winnie, remember
Do you remember the name of the hotel?
the Cecil?
Yeah. Okay, the Cecil Hotel. I remember that. It's like on Skid Row.
Yep.
I don't remember why she was there.
She
I
was
don't
like
know why
on a
young
trip.
girl would stay at that type of hotel by herself.
Yeah, that part doesn't make any sense. But
But
she was
I
allegedly on a
remember
trip.
She was like on a trip. Might have been on a trip.
I'm pretty sure they did a test and didn't find drugs in her system.
Other
than what she was, like, prescribed.
Yeah.
Because she had like anxiety or
Anxiety, and wasn't it maybe bipolar? Did that come out?
cuckoo-ness. She's
I don't know. I'm trying
those
to
Cocoa
remember.
Puffs. Like that bird.
But then the weird thing I remember about the bird.
You just didn't even.
That's
Yeah,
not
the-
Cocoa Puffs.
Isn't he like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Because he's
It's a
like,
bird?
It's a cuckoo bird.
Oh.
What'd you think it was? A tortoise?
I don't remember there being an animal. I don't eat
Oh.
a lot of Cocoa Puffs. Because a bird's better than a turtle?
Obviously, there's a
Hold
lot.
on.
There's
We have to pause it.
there
I have
is
to tell you a funny story though.
a lot of birds.
If you cut it out, it's fine. But we went to a petting zoo yesterday at my school. I
Okay.
took my 1-year-old daughter. I'm like trying to get her to pet like the soft bunnies. She's slapping the chickens and then starts petting the kids that are petting the animals.
She's one. She doesn't
And I was
understand.
like, we gotta get out of here. Like, anywho,
Pretty people.
I was like, those are humans. And why are you touching the birds? Like the bird flu. It's just...
Yeah.
And then they said
Maybe she wanted to eat them.
they
She
were
like chicken.
She does like chicken. But then they were like, we have the world's smallest cow. And I'm like, this is a baby donkey you should eat. This is not A cow.
Baby donkeys are commonly mistaken for cows.
Yeah. Stop claiming this is the world's smallest cow. Anywho.
Now back to cereals that have birds.
I thought
Fruit
the
Loops?
toucan.
Yeah,
yes,
Fruit
that's
Loops.
what I thought you were talking
There's
about.
the-
And I was like, that's not the pup.
I think there's like a guy or something too, but there's a bird. And remember in like the old commercials in like the early 2000s,
No.
he would like taste the chocolate and be like, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
No, I do not remember this. I remember the Tootsie, like licking a Tootsie Pop. Like
That's an owl. 1, 2, 3.
I think owls are aliens. We could do a whole episode on that.
And then he bites it.
Okay. You watched a lot of TV, I think, growing up.
Everyone knows the commercial.
I don't.
It's like the same animation as like Schoolhouse Rock.
That's the lollipop one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thought we were talking about pups.
No, I'm just saying that's a very famous commercial.
Yes, that one is.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that bird is
Okay.
a bird. It's
Anywho.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
I
I remember. I don't even know how you got on this topic.
remember what?
Well, anyway, the thing that stood out to me was the elevator video
Oh yeah.
in Eliza Lamb. Like, that's the one thing about that entire thing. I wish I could know what was going on. Like, I would say, was
she
she on
possessed? Was
drugs
she
during
being
that time? But I guess
chased?
the autopsy or whatever blood thingy says no.
But that was easy to cover up because I remember there was like a Netflix documentary and the manager was kind of like
There's a lot
sus.
of like documentaries after that were, yeah. And then was there someone outside the elevator
When how did the
was
lid
she,
get
like,
shut? Because
kind of possessed? Like, what
they
was
found her
going
in that
on?
water tank and there was no way she could like reach to close the lid because there was like too much space.
Yeah,
Remember?
I'm like, someone
There's a
had
lot
to
of things
have
that didn't add up.
led her up there. But she had to have been with it enough to get up there herself because I don't think someone could have like drug her up there.
Unless she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And she thought that water tank was full of
Milk.
chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Because that's the
I
thing
bet
with those
they
is
don't
you
test her blood
put them in
for
the
Cocoa
milk.
Puffs.
They probably don't. They should.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to today's topic. We're just going to have a fun back and forth because she don't know anything about what I'm going to talk about. I wanted to send her some videos, but she's just going to go in completely blind. Now, we talked about your husband, who's my brother-in-law.
Yep. That's how
Let's
it
use some
works.
terms here. He's a gamer. Doesn't he play some video games?
Lord,
Yes.
that's where I left him when I came here.
I'm not surprised. That's where I'll be when we're done.
I don't think you guys play the same games though.
No, we don't. Absolutely, we don't. But I'm curious, what games does he play? And then has he played any survival horror games?
No.
Because wait for me to finish. Because that's the topic of the day. Now, does he play those? Yes.
Probably.
Survival horror would be like kind of like Resident Evil.
No.
So I just played through a game called Slender the Arrival, which we'll get into in a second. But let's hear what kind of games he likes to play.
He plays like Madden,
I play that.
the show.
I try to play that,
He
but I don't like
loves,
the
show,
mechanics.
loves baseball.
It doesn't feel like real baseball.
He
to me.
does the golf a ton. I don't know why.
Okay, we play the exact same games. I literally
then-
golfed 36 holes last night.
Yeah, he loves that. But then he also will do like Fortnite with his buddies.
Oh, my kids play Fortnite.
But that's
I can't
it.
stand
Like
it.
pretty much.
I was
the show,
expecting like
Madden.
Call of Duty.
Oh wait, is it Fortnite or Call of Duty? I think it's Fortnite.
Fortnite is kind of more like cartoony.
Yes. It's
Call of
Fortnite.
Duty is like war.
I don't want to
reenacting.
say he never played Call of Duty because maybe, but those are the ones I see him play.
Well,
But it's I would say 85% of the time it's the sports ones, and then the other time it's like.
well, we were both wrong because I thought I didn't play the same games, and,
Yeah.
and you did too.
But
and
you play like throwback stuff too. And
I do.
He does.
I play vintage games, but
But we don't
lately
have
I've
that
been playing a lot of Xbox S and PS4,
I
and
think he has a PS5.
I don't want to drop. That's too much money for me to spend.
Yeah, I got that for his birthday.
I'm poor because you don't watch enough episodes to pay for me. Come on,
You could put your Venmo here.
I could put my Venmo here. I will. It's here. It's probably not going to be there.
You could put mine.
What's that gonna do? You gonna buy me a PS5?
Maybe if they Venmo me enough money.
You know what? I'm cool with my PS4. All of the recent games I play are on my Xbox S anyway. I got a limited edition PS4 on eBay for cheap, so I just decided to get it. It's not important, but yeah, I've been really getting into survival horror games.
You really have?
I really have. Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
You think I'm just lying to the people?
I thought so for the bit.
Okay, so for real though, the first time I sat down to play Slender the Arrival, I went to bed and I just like stared into my bathroom,
Yeah.
expecting to see
This
something.
is not a good episode.
I was just like,
You were scared?
yeah, well, they just do such a good job with like the atmospherics. So
Oh.
like the sound design is great, and then if you've ever played that game, I know there's probably people out there that are like, Clay's scared by that? That's nothing. Which is true. There's games like 10 times scarier than that. But I just watched like the trailer for them and I'm like, no, pass. I bought Blair Witch and I have not played through that yet, but it looks fantastic. I read really good things about it. The gameplay looks really nice, but they're like first person games. So you like walk around as the character. And so in Slender the Arrival.
Is it Slender Man?
Yeah, it's Slender Man. No, it's Slender the Blender. It's Slender Man.
Oh, you know,
Look out, I'll make you a smoothie!
Toaster. I hate scary things.
Yeah, well, I want you to watch.
I
You have to go.
I can.
You have to go home and just watch like gameplay. I actually just released an episode of The Casual Gamer talking about Slender the Arrival. You should just watch that.
I'll just watch that.
It's like 6 minutes. But yeah, there's different stages that you have to go through, and the premise is this girl is going to help her childhood best friend sell her house. So they're like going through stuff. No! You probably could you even hear that? She like whispered. Say it to the people.
I thought he said this girl's going to hell, and I was like, what kind of
That is what I
premise
said.
is this?
But then with a p at the end. Help.
Okay, going to help her friend.
Her friend sell her house. The setup is not scary. So she drives out there and she kind of lives like in what I would imagine like Virginia looks like, kind of wooded.
Okay.
We don't have that here. We got saguaros.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, she gets to the house and it's like completely abandoned. She starts searching through the different rooms trying to find her, and she finds in her bedroom there's just like paper all over the place. There's some blood stains.
Oh.
There's like drawings of what looks like it's Slender Man, but she doesn't know.
Oh.
And then you hear a scream and you go to investigate and you go through the woods, and this is when you start seeing Slender Man like in the distance. But as soon as you like shine the flashlight at him, he'll like disappear.
Okay.
And you have to like,
I'm getting hives.
you're getting hives thinking about Slender Man.
Yeah.
Those are slender hives. Anyway, I don't have slender ointment,
Yeah.
but yeah, I won't bore you too much. But
Okay, but what do you like?
so
What are you doing?
So in the first level, you're just kind of walking around, clicking on things and reading to get the understanding of what the story is. So then you wander out into the woods to try to find where the scream came from. And you come to this like park ranger station.
Okay.
And you walk through and the first level ends and then the game really starts. And the first level is called the 8 pages. And you have to try to find these 8 sheets of paper that are left for you with clues. And once you pick one up, you start being stalked by Slender Man. And he will like pop up kind of like in the distance, but close enough. And it's freaky. And you might turn around. He might be right there. And the character in the first couple levels is carrying a camera. So it's like handheld, like a found footage movie. And it'll start like staticking when like, yeah, so I played this with like the volume up really loud because you have to. And he'll be like right there and you'll pee yourself. It's great. And then once you get through there, the next level, and then we'll stop talking about this. The next level is like in this old mine warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go up against this person. I think it's like a child that Slender Man has possessed.
Oh.
And
is it real looking? Like pretty real looking?
so this is an old game from 2013. But they remastered it and re-released it, and it's beautiful. So it's yeah, it looks real and it's scary.
Oh.
But this thing chases you like through the mines, and you have to try to turn on these generators
Wow.
to go up this elevator to escape. And the only way to get this thing to stop chasing you is to blind it with your flashlight. But it runs faster than you, and it makes terrible, like, noises. And it's like wearing a hood,
Oh, I
and it
don't
like
like that.
jumps on you, and
Ugh.
it's great. So yeah, you've never played any of those?
No.
What a great episode to have you on. Although, to be fair, you've never been inside of a sub that imploded,
Yeah.
and we had you on that episode.
Yeah.
Don't even know what the
I
Bell Witch
led-
is. We had you on that episode.
I did at the time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm assuming. Or I looked it up.
I probably had notes.
Yeah, I think the computer.
I've never had notes in this show. You wouldn't know. You're not here.
I know you have.
Occasionally I have notes, and they're usually because Shalina or Adam typed them up for me. Sometimes I'll pull my phone out, and I have like a paragraph that I'm like, I gotta remember to say this.
Yeah.
That's about it, though.
We have none tonight.
We don't have any. But, yeah, do you have anything that you want to add to the survival horror video game section? There are also, some of these games are released in VR, and I don't think I could handle that.
That's what I was going to ask you when you said, like, oh, it pops up behind you. I was like, are you doing this in VR?
You can.
Ugh.
I don't know if that game is on VR, but I think Blair Witch is, and there's a lot of...
The only thing I'm going to say, and it's from a teacher standpoint, is there should be an age on these things. Like, I know there's probably, like, for mature or whatever.
Yeah, it's for mature.
But, I mean, I have, like, young kids playing, like, these types of games, and I just don't know that that's good.
That's why they are the way they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was that age,
That's scary for 10
I was
11
playing
year
like
olds.
Super Mario Kart.
Totally. Like, we
Yeah,
we exercise.
We didn't exist when I was like
No,
10
you're
or
right.
11. Like the Super Nintendo had just come out. I'm
Yeah.
old.
But that was like, you're like racing. Like, you're not like talking to strangers online and seeing people get killed and scary things.
Yeah, no, it's kind of wild, like what youth can get access to these days,
Oh, yeah, it's so bad.
because a lot of the games are definitely
I think video
inappropriate.
games are fine and good if they're used appropriately, especially like ones like these. Like, you're a grown adult who can sometimes manage your fears.
Well, after the first night, I was fine, and it was actually scarier the other nights, but I didn't get scared.
Yeah.
It just kind of caught me off guard because I've never really been one to play that sort of game,
Yeah.
but a lot of them went on sale for like
I was going to say, why? Like,
it was like an un-Halloween sale because it
I
was
feel
like
you were into Slenderman for a while.
I
I
was. It's an interesting concept, and we actually did an episode on this podcast about Slenderman, and we've just had multiple conversations about Slenderman. It's a fascinating subject,
I feel like
the
things
history.
are popping back up with
Yeah.
Slenderman.
Like he's behind me. He's not. I wasn't scared though.
I'm gonna be scared to even walk to my car.
Well, if he gets you, he gets you. I ain't gonna save you.
No.
I gotta stay inside
Yeah, you're not going.
and be safe. But so before we wrap up this episode, thank you for being part of this show for, I mean, honestly, on and off for like the last 5 years.
Mhm.
What was, if you listened to, I know you probably didn't watch or listen to many of the episodes we put out,
Gosh.
but what was your favorite thing you ever heard or saw, whether you were a part of it or not?
This is not like an episode. I just think every intro and trying to be like creep it real, fit that in was like my favorite every time. Like, every time I started a new podcast, listening, whether I was driving or cleaning or whatever, I was like, how are these two going to open this?
Well, we used to do like cold opens where we would like
Yeah.
talk about something random.
Yes, and
Or
that's
we would
what I remember.
we would like pull out a bit from the episode and like put it before
Yeah.
the intro. And we were finally just like, you know what? We're done.
Yeah.
And so now we just have the intro, and then we say, welcome to talk about scary. Then our names.
Creep it real.
Yeah. Well, that's at the end.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was a good ending.
Oh, that's where you want to end it?
I don't know.
Okay, we can end it. I wasn't quite ready yet.
You have more to talk about?
No, but I like to say things like, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Check out other videos that we have on the channel. Even though we are canceling this podcast, we will be replacing it with something similar. We've got tons of other ghost hunting specials, video game content, feature film, shorts, other random things. We got it. Do other YouTube channels? No. They probably do. But ours is better. Maybe. Creep it real, guys.
Creep it real.
How dare you try to say creep it real before I say creep it real?
It was a good.
This is the last episode you get to be a part of.
It's the last one anyway.